Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of Mekayla Bali, age 16, from Saskatchewan, who disappeared on April 12th of 2016. There were a lot of unusual behaviors leading up to her disappearance. For instance, she started texting her friends to take her to the bank, and one text said, "Help me," and then a few minutes later she said, "Never mind, fixed it." And she wanted to go to the bank very early in the morning, which she did, and she withdrew $55, I believe, on that morning. I think she also transferred $25 leading up to her disappearance, but I'm not really sure to whom. It didn't quite say to whom. Either way, she was off on her phone during that day. She kind of skipped school, starting early in the morning. She did arrive at school, but shortly after school arrival, she left and she went to, I believe, a pawn shop to try and sell a silver ring. She went to a Tim Horton's twice, where she was seen disassembling her phone, putting it back together, calling people. She even at one point went to sit with somebody else, another woman, and asked her about booking a hotel room, and the woman wasn't quite sure if she wanted her to book the hotel room for her or if she needed money or whatever it was. But after a while she left and went back to her own table. She seemed to be either avoiding or looking for someone, maybe both at the same time. She went to the bus station to ask about the price for a ticket to a bus to Regina, which she apparently did not purchase afterwards when she learned about the price. She did actually eat there at the restaurant right there at the terminal. And then she kind of disappeared. They last spotted her at that place, at that restaurant, around 1:45 in the afternoon, and they have not heard or seen anything from her since. The only thing that's actually happened is that her phone went dead at 7 a.m. the next day, but several months later, one of her messages on Snapchat did get set to red, so that's quite interesting. I believe there are also a couple of social media accounts that had been adjusted maybe previously. One of them just said like goodbye or something. I'm not really sure. There were like a whole bunch of different accounts that you had on Instagram, Snapchat, and Kik, I believe, where other people were chatting with her who have been investigated but cleared. So there's a lot of dead ends to this story, a lot of strange behavior, particularly leading up to it, and just big questions all around. Last Valentine's Day, she actually got a box with roses, but the person who sent that box was also checked out and cleared. They went to talk to her father, whom she hadn't seen, and that was also a person of interest, but they were cleared. And I don't think they currently have a suspect, and I believe that it was now put in a cold case file. So that's quite disappointing. So we have more questions than we have answers for, like I said, and today we're going to try and take a look if we can find out anything about what happened to Mekayla on that day with the tarot over here. We're going to start off with the Modern Witch Tarot, which is this one, and for further questions, moving on to the Tarot Mucha, which is this one. You saw this one last week as well. So, as per usual, I'm just going to start shuffling the deck, and whatever cards fall out, and then once we have about a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So, without much further ado, let's go. Okay, we got a lot of cards here. Let's just start at the top left as we usually do. We see here an Ace of Swords in reverse, the Three of Swords in reverse, and the Queen of Wands. So this looks like a combination of a very stubborn person, Queen of Wands, having a bad idea, and it's to do with some type of disruption, I think, with a relationship that they thought they had, or that was blooming or something along those lines, because the ace is often a start, a new beginning, and it might be that this Queen of Wands, which I think is Mekayla, thought that somebody was getting in the way of something that was very important to her, and she let that rule her head, because the Queen of Wands can be very shrewd, but usually just wants to get stuff done, and in that case can be led astray by perhaps some misfortune, because I'm being drawn to look at this black cat down here. So maybe she just had a bad idea and decided to charge off, or wanted to charge off anyway, to fix whatever this Three of Swords situation is. So she was on the phone a lot, so maybe this one of these swords is the person that they were on the phone with. One of the things I didn't mention at the start is that they haven't been able to find her phone, and even though she spent a lot of time on the phone, the police have yet to figure out who she was calling, so that would be very helpful if we ever found that. But yeah, so alas, we don't have the phone at the moment. So she may have been in contact with one of these three swords, the one that she initially probably wanted to be in connection with, in order to fix this thing with this third sword that she perceived to be in the way. And for whatever reason, she felt like she needed to escape the world for that, or at least escape the world that she knew, in order to fix this. Now, whether she was planning on coming back, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily say that yet. So far, though, the urgency was great enough that she didn't see any other choice, because we see here the Four of Cups in reverse. There's no choice for her, at least in her feelings. She feels like she has no choice, even though there is some struggle here, which I think she may have been struggling with people on the phone, or maybe people in her life. Maybe she was behaving a certain way that caused for some conflict, because I do believe they said that her behavior was very different from her usual behavior that day and the days leading up to it. I believe she even went to have lunch with a couple of friends and said something like, oh, I want to go to Moose Jaw, or I want to go to Prince Albert, just about anywhere really. Which at that time didn't seem too strange, because apparently the girls would like to talk about going just about anywhere other than where they were, which is Yorkton, where apparently there isn't too much activity for young people. So that wasn't too strange, but of course now in retrospect it does seem like a little bit suspicious, like maybe she went there. I'm pretty sure people have checked out those places front to back already by this time. But in any case, there is some struggle here. Could be internal strife. She could have been arguing with people. She could have maybe upset some people. Either way, she didn't feel like she had a choice because of the Four Cups here being in reverse. She had no choice but to escape the world that she was normally accustomed to being in order to figure this out. This could also be the conflict that she was planning on settling by leaving her world behind. Seems that that might be the most logical explanation. Now we have the Three of Wands on the next row, which is showing that she didn't really find the way there. That is, she wanted to go. That's what the Three of Wands is usually about: wanting to travel, wanting to set out, make travel plans, go out, see the world, that sort of thing. But it's in reverse. I think this is representing the fact that she had a lot of trouble getting out of town. Maybe she didn't have quite the amount of finances that she thought she needed. She was asking people for money, so, or at least asking to get to the bank, so she was asking to get some type of finances, and that kind of threw her plans in the water, which is also represented here by the Tower, which is definitely a quite disastrous event. But we see a Knight of Wands after that, so I think this is leading up to the day itself. This top row, like, oh, there's some trouble here, I need to fix this, I need to get to this other place to sort this issue out. And then she actually decided she was going to leave, but she found that it was going to be so much trouble to get there, because apparently the bus ticket to Regina was too much, or I don't know exactly how much they cost. But that kind of threw a spanner in the works. That caused a very big upheaval in her life, because I'm pretty sure she just decided with this Knight of Wands to go out there and find her way over there. She may have gone hitchhiking or something along those lines, like her plan that she had hastily put together over here to try and get to the situation over here was not working out, and she took drastic actions to try and figure it out anyway. which we can also see here with the reversed Ace of Wands was not a great idea. Knight of Wands and Ace of Wands in reverse, like I said, this was another bad idea, bad unthought through action, because the Knight of Wands, as you can see, really charges off, doesn't really care too much about the past. You can't even see behind them. It's more like, I need to head to the future, I need to head there now, and I'm going to do this in order to get there. And even though she may have tried to think her way through things, because the next card is the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is also in reverse. Knight of Swords is also known for being very gung-ho, in this case more with words and thoughts. So while she was out there being very actionable, trying to get places, she wasn't thinking too straight or clearly either. Now, last two cards that we have here on the end there that didn't quite fit on the table is the Two of Swords upright, so that is definitely trying to make up your mind, and the Five of Cups in reverse. So the Five of Cups in reverse is a card about not really being willing to stop crying over spilled milk. So this is really the obsessive nature of not wanting to go back. Maybe Two of Swords is kind of pointing towards part of her that was like saying, maybe we should turn back, maybe we should go back and ask for help, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. But ultimately she decided with the Five of Cups in reverse that she couldn't do that and go back to the city that you can see across the bridge, across the water there, because she had made up her mind to not turn back. Whatever it was that she was chasing was so important that she could not stop herself to think clearly, and she had to keep moving forward. So that's a pretty big mystery still, but at least we see now that she left on her own volition. At least that's what it seems like. Let's see what we can get for after this, because I believe there were some sightings. It's been 8 years, but maybe since we haven't found anything yet and there are occasional sightings, she's still out there. But let's see if we can get any more information about that with the Tarot Bucha deck. So can we get more information on how she fared after she disappeared? We got two cards right here. So that looks like the Hierophant in reverse, and we have here the Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay, so the Hierophant is normally somebody who is supposed to take care of people around them, somebody who is like a father figure, somebody that is relied upon, and the Queen of Wands here is in reverse. I think the Queen of Wands in reverse is pointing towards Mekayla again, because she was represented by the Queen of Wands earlier as well. I think that this is somebody, this emperor, whom she probably went to see, who may have been the sword that she was in contact with over here, who didn't take very good care of her, perhaps betrayed her trust, maybe didn't do the things that she thought they would, or wasn't the person that they thought they were, because the Queen of Wands is in reverse here as well. She may have decided to try and run with it anyway, because the Queen of Wands is very stubborn. So it could be that even though she saw them as not quite the person that they were looking for or hoping to find, that they were like, okay, well, I made up my mind, I'm going to stick with it. Let's see what else we can find. Yep, that one landed on my arm. I've got 3 cards here. Eight of Cups is a walking away energy. We have the Seven of Swords, which is the seats, and we have here, this looks like the King of Cups. Alright, so Eight of Cups, like I said, is walking away. So maybe after she found out who they really were, what they were really all about, she decided to leave, but she was tricked somehow, or she tricked them, because she may have run into another person who was willing to help out. Perhaps this King of Cups right here may have come into her life to kind of offer the solution. He is very boisterous, as you can see, very much out there with his emotions and jovial, I would say. Somebody who draws a lot of attention. And you can see that the Seven of Swords is also kind of looking towards them, like, hey, I'm going to go over there now. I'm going to walk away from this person on this end, and I'm going to go towards this person on this end. So that might be what happened. So after she figured out what this emperor had in mind, and that it wasn't quite what she had in mind, she decided to leave, and through some trickery, and went to this other person, whom appeared to be, I guess, a replacement emperor of some sort. A king in any case. whom she thought could be trusted more than this emperor. So what happened next? Because she hasn't reappeared yet. Nope. Next. Oh, this one decided to fall as well, but this one came first. Six of Pentacles. This is charity. So whoever this person was on the end, they probably took her in, offered some charity, some hope, possibly. Hello? This way. Which is something that she really needed. And we also have here, this is the Devil in reverse. Okay, so they may have offered some hope and some charity, but it may also have led to some type of ensnarement, is the word I'm looking for. Because the devil tends to trap people with things that appear very pretty and very nice. As you can see, take away the devilish stuff in the background there. They appear very opulent and perhaps also charming, maybe in a way. And she may have been charmed by this King of Cups. King of Cups can be very charming, can be very emotionally available and stuff like that. And if you're in a situation where you're lost and you're looking for some type of safe haven, they could be that safe haven. At least they might appear to be that safe haven, and I think she may have been treated quite charitably, at least at the start, and that caused for some type of ensnarement in that situation. He may have led her into a world that she was not able to leave. What else can we find? This could be anything. Could be some type of human trafficking. It could be manipulation. This could be a narcissist that's trapping her with his words. It could also be drugs. It could be anything. We're getting lots of cards right now. Let's see. This one's already flipped. This is the Knight of Wands in reverse. So this is somebody who does not spend their resources wisely, which the Knight of Pentacles normally does do. So maybe that is also part of the problem here. Either they are not spending their money wisely, or she is not spending it wisely either because of them. We have here the Page of Wands, so that is more hasty actions, but not really being able to do much with those actions, because we have here the Magician in reverse. So that is not being able to manifest much of the things that you want to manifest, or perhaps somebody's working against her as well. Now we have Judgment also. This one's upright though, so maybe they feel like this is just deserves, or they feel like they're being done right by, or they're looking to get some type of justice. Could be that we are going to see some justice for her in the future. She may have also been in contact with justice, because if you look at this lineup with this careless spending and not really being able to do much good, perhaps she has been arrested a few times as a result of this. She may now be part of some type of group that is in that circuit, shall I say. What else can we find out? Alright, so there is a lot of action going on, so, and she even seems a little bit surprised by that. So perhaps she's caught up in a world where she's not really sure what she's doing, but she doesn't seem to see a way out. But there is a lot of activity going on. Now let's see if we can, she may have even tried to reach out, because there are like connections to the Eight of Wands for like social media and stuff like that. This may also be a reference to the Snapchat message being read a couple of months later. But I feel like this might be a little bit later down the line. In any case, she's kind of stuck here in this negative cycle with these people. It looks as though people that initially were perhaps her saviors may have turned out to be not the best people to hang out with, but since they showed her some charity over here, she may feel like she's now trapped because they showed that charity, and that she can't stab them in the back because of it. Let's see if we can find out if we're ever gonna hear more about her. Are we gonna learn more about her situation? Are we gonna find her? Oh, 2 cards. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, that kind of reminds me of what I was just saying, that she feels indebted to them. Maybe she doesn't want to because of the Six of Pentacles that she had here, the charity that was shown to her there. Also, we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, so that kind of looks like she may not have the means to communicate. She feels like it might be a betrayal because she wasn't initially mistreated, at least. Like she feels some type of way. She is probably one of the two people there and there at the bottom being helped by these people is what I'm saying. Also, she may be dependent on them, and that's why the Two of Pentacles is also showing up in reverse. Like she can't manage her money because she's not able to manage any type of finances because she's dependent on them for her income or her resources at all. She might have nothing to her name, really. And this is starting to sound like she was put in a prostitution ring almost. I don't really want to put like things out there that are like solid, like, oh, it's X, Y, or Z, but it's kind of like, it sounds like that, you know, like she's being gifted something, brought into their world, and then she's kind of stuck. She's also got a lot of things to do here with justice, and then we see that she's not really able to manage her own finances. Like somebody has a hold over her and she doesn't know how or can't break free. Let's see what else we can find out about that. This one, Six of Cups. Okay, so she might be thinking about her past and how it was much better. This may be the regret card if we want to look at it that way. Six of Cups is normally like a thinking about old times, and maybe she finds it hard to think about old times, but also part of her kind of longs back for those days because she was only 16 when she disappeared. So maybe that is representing what could have been if she hadn't left that day or had tried something else. We have the Page of Swords, so that is, looks like thought patterns that are kind of stuck in her mind and they're kind of running around in circles a little bit. It's not quite Eight of Swords, but Page of Swords tends to be somebody who thinks and speaks very quickly, very hastily, also with a very youthful energy, and it's not for the better. So this might be that she's picked up a certain way of talking, perhaps a little bit manipulative, maybe also just to keep afloat, because in certain circles you can't always go around telling the truth. So she may have picked up a habit of telling lies or telling stories. She may even be making up stuff about the past to make things all right. Let's see what else we have here. The Star. So there is definitely somebody who is noticing them, or she is standing out somewhere, which is interesting. She might get noticed by somebody because I'm pretty sure that they have pictures out there of what she would look like now, 8 years later, 6 years later rather, sorry, and they may be recognized then. That would be interesting to see. So what else can we see about that? That one. Okay. And Eight of Cups. Okay, so at this point, she may be recognized by somebody and then decide to walk away with them, perhaps, to leave it all behind. Like, even though she was initially feeling like she was ensnared by these people giving her some charity, she may at some point be recognized, or maybe recognize herself, perhaps. Maybe she'll come across a flyer at some point. Some type of light is going to be shown on her, or is being shown on her, that makes her think, you know, I'm still kind of two minds here with the two water jugs, one being poured out and one emptied across the land itself. And at some point she may decide to turn around and go back, regardless of what she might think that people might do to her, or whether she thinks that she can, because this section over here definitely shows like she feels like she can't because she's without resources, but at some point she might just decide to at least give it a shot. Just take a backpack and go, basically, because that's all the person on the Eight of Cups over there is doing. Also, looking at the bird on this Star card, as you can see, it's taking off. Like, she's over here just kind of weighing her options, and then finally the bird takes off towards the star itself, perhaps flying back towards the light, and then ultimately we see the Eight of Cups there on the end with her walking away. So that might mean she may at one point try at least to return to where she came from. In any case, that's what I'm seeing for Mekayla Bali. I hope you found that interesting. Be sure to leave a like and a comment in the comment section below. That would be great. Really helps the channel along. Make sure to share if you'd like other people to see it as well. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in another video, and bye bye for now.